group. And then just go ahead.
Yes.
So good evening. My name is Dr. Carlos M. Cotto Jr., and I'd like to welcome you. Before I get started, I would like to first thank the Board of Education and our superintendent for giving me and my team the opportunity to recognize this year's scholars. I would also like to thank the Board of Education, the superintendent, for their continued support to our athletic program. In education, when we provide students with opportunities and experiences like interscholastic sports, marching band, music, art, just to name a few, we are able to engage them in a way that helps them in a way that ultimately results in what you will all witness here today. The Rochester City School District has selected these male and female athletes of the year throughout all of our schools. Each student athlete being recognized today has exemplified what it takes to be a student athlete with the following criteria: over a 3.0 GPA or higher, 93% attendance or higher, excellent citizenship, true leaders and role models in their individual programs, buildings, and community. I'd like to thank my athletic coordinators for identifying and assisting with today's recognition and for helping to personally deliver our athletes their letters, certificates, and plaques. I want to send a special thank you to Robert Daniels, an educator at the Edison campus, who spent the last week assisting with capturing photos and interviews of most scholars at their homes throughout the morning, afternoon, and evening. The 22 scholars today being recognized represent 19 seniors who are all going to college and 3 juniors who are on their way to an amazing senior year. What is also impressive of this group is that their combined weighted GPA is 4.1. True scholars. Before we start to recognize these amazing future leaders, let us not forget to recognize their parents, guardians, brothers, sisters, uncles, cousins, coaches, and community. It does take a village, and that for many start at home. So parents, thank you for your nurturing, guiding, and protecting of these young men and women. At this time, I would like to introduce the following athletic director who will recognize his scholars at the East High campus, Mr. Eric Robinson.
Thank you, Dr. Cotto. Are we going to go with the PowerPoint? Okay. Our 2 scholar athletes, like Dr. Cotto mentioned a few minutes ago, are exemplary students who are leaders on and off the field and on the court. Our first scholar athlete that we're going to honor is Karen Montero. She is a senior who is going to next year go on to MCC and then eventually to U of R in their 2+2 nursing program. She's a student who participates in volleyball and softball, but outside of the athletic field, she is a true school leader. She is a person who is just a good all-around person in general. She's a very motivated student, but also a very good person. She's a young lady who I know is going to be very successful in whatever she decides to do. I know she's going to be a nurse, but she is a student who is a leader on and off the field. Our next scholar athlete that we're honoring is Kaori Barley. Kaori's been with us. Karen was with us from 7th through 12th grade. Kaori came to us in the 10th grade, but he's been around the program for basically all of his life. His father is a social studies teacher at East and our boys basketball coach. So he's been around the building for, majority of his life and is really a scholar athlete who made himself into that. He's not as gifted as some of the other scholars in terms of athletic prowess, but his hard work and dedication to his craft is led to the point where he's going to be able to accept some scholarship money to attend DUville next year in Buffalo. So he made himself into an athlete who is first and foremost, again, a great person and a scholar who spends a lot of time tutoring other members of the team and being a leader in the building. So Kaori is going to be attending DUville College next year. He is going to continue playing basketball. They're going to be a Division II school next year, so he was able to accept some scholarship money for athletics, but got a larger chunk of money for his academic performance. So we're looking to continue to root him on in his basketball career, but also know that he's going to be a great person in the business world as well. He participated in volleyball and basketball at East.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Next up is Rick Roach, the athletic director at the Douglas campus.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Northeast Douglas High School Athletic Department and our whole school on the Scholar Athlete Awards, and also like to thank the board for your continued support of RCSD athletic programs. Our female Scholar Athlete Award winner is Anaya McMillan Burrows. I want to congratulate her on being a positive influence for her teammates and coaches on the varsity cheerleading team. This positive energy and always smiling demeanor and her ability to be a great student will help her be very successful as she goes on to the next level. Hey, congrats, Anaya. And you can see that she's looking to go to Buff State and major in business. Our next Scholar Athlete, our male Scholar Athlete Award winner is Lamar Lovelace. I want to reflect on his ability to be a great role model and leader for his fellow players and coaches on our boys varsity basketball team throughout all the wins and losses, and his mental toughness to overcome injury this year and still lead us to the Section 5 finals, which we've been in twice in the past 3 years. Congrats, Lamar. And the question I want to ask you, Lamar, is what effect has athletics had on your high school experience?
Yeah, athletics had a big effect on my experience because when I was like in 7th and 8th grade, I wasn't like such a good student when it comes to academics. Like I done got suspended a few times, but I love the game of basketball. So I put it in my mind, if I wanted to stay on the court, I had to do great in school. And like, it's many talented players out here in the world. So I took it as like everybody can play basketball. So how am I gonna separate myself? So I chose to do it in the classroom and just stand out in the classroom. So yeah, that's it.
Hey, thanks, Lamar. Yeah, and on behalf of the Douglas Athletic Department, our whole school community, I want to thank all the Scholar athletes, congratulate them, and best of all success as they go through life.
Thank you, Mr. Roach. Next up is Mr. Bowney, the athletic director at the Franklin campus.
Thank you, Dr. Cotto. I want to first congratulate all the Scholar athletes, and I want to kind of put out a special thanks to the superintendent, board president, commissioners, principals, ADs, and especially Ms. Catrone Young, Mr. Daniels, and Mr. Mohan. They're kind of the behind the scenes folk that did all the legwork for us and are kind of making this presentation look so great. On a personal note, I just need to put it out there. This is by far and away my favorite part of the job. I love it when we see kids go on and kind of use the RCSD as a springboard to go to the next level. The young lady that you see up on the screen right now is kind of an RCSD success story. She's an ELL student. She wasn't born in the United States. She was born, and I'm going to try to enunciate this correctly, in Humaco, Puerto Rico. This is a young lady who is currently learning the language and still carries a 4.0 GPA. She can't be on the call right now. She's actually babysitting 2 nephews and a niece. And she called me crying, and I explained to her that, you know, life happens and that I would cover for her. But when I tell you that this young lady is a true leader on the court and in the classroom, the The one thing she did want me to highlight for her was that every single varsity team she's ever participated on has won the Section 5 Sportsmanship Award for that sport. To me, that's kind of what we prioritize at Franklin. So when I tell you that Karamar Lopez is definitely one of my favorites and a scholar athlete that we'll have around for one more year, because she's only a junior this year. But she definitely did want me to highlight the Sportsmanship Award. Carlos, if you could go to the next slide. Thank you, sir. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce Franklin's male scholar athlete, Mr. Tajir King. Like Ms. Lopez, Mr. King has been a 3-time recipient of the Thomas Emanuel Sportsmanship Award. That's the sportsmanship award given out for varsity basketball players. Mr. King is a quiet, humble person who leads by example. I truly cannot express how proud I am of this young man being accepted to the prestigious Howard University. Having said that, I would like to ask Mr. King how he believes a degree from Howard University will help him reach his goals and attain his aspirations. Tajir?
Thank you. Me getting my degree from Howard really, how you said how prestigious it is. And I really just want to make a change in the world. You see what's going on right now with all this racism and stuff. And I want to be one of the top people that can help change that. And I feel like a degree from Howard will definitely help that.
Carlos, that's why we do this job. Tajir, I know no matter what you choose, no matter what field you go into, and I know it looks like you're going to start in bio, you being down in Washington, D.C. and representing this district, I couldn't choose a better person. I am so proud of you, young man.
Thank you.
That's it from Franklin, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bounty. Next up is Leadership Academy with Rob Thomas. Mr. Thomas.
Hey, good evening. Thank you, everybody. I want to echo the sentiments of my colleagues, thanking the board, Karen Control-Young, Dr. Cotto, and all of our colleagues here. And very grateful to be part of this regime, honoring these young men and young women and what they've accomplished in the classroom and on the courts and on the playing fields. First up for Leadership Academy is Maurice McKinney. He's a 11th grader. He's a very skilled young man when it comes to speaking. You'll probably see that later on in the presentation. But his leadership style is he leads verbally and by example. He was the RCAC Player of the Year for the upper division for varsity basketball this year. And he is very interested in attending Lemoyne College and Damon College. But I say this, that he's a vocal leader because he actually advocated for himself to win this award earlier on in the year. So he's a very great young man. We're expecting great things from him in the future. And I'm extremely blessed to have him once again back next year leading our basketball program and Leadership Academy in general. Next slide.
Next slide.
All right, our senior representative for Leadership Academy is Kenai Hardiman. Kenai is a silent leader. He leads by example. He's a young man. If he's running hard in practice, he expects you to run hard in practice. If he's getting to class on time, he expects you to get to class on time. Kenai is a great young man. He's attending Buffalo State next year. He plans on competing in both football and basketball next year. He has an undecided major, but he's already been accepted to Buff State. He's a gamer. He enjoys, he's kind of a homebody a little bit, but he's definitely a leader in his own way, in a very different way than many students. For the last part of this, I just want to thank Kenai and his parents. Just let them know how blessed I've been to be part of his journey. And, just a small part of his journey. And I thank the parents for sharing the greatest gift is their child, Kenai, with the Leadership Academy program. and he's going to do great things as he moves forward, and hope he comes back to the district and lends his talents.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. And these two young men were not able to attend today due to some, just overall responsibilities at home. Next up, we have Monroe High School, Mr. Greg Whitman.
Good evening, everyone. At James Monroe High School, we are extremely proud of our state-of-the-art facilities, our wonderful faculty and staff. We are proud of the leadership, mentorship, and support we get every day from our amazing leader, Principal Sandra Chevalier Blackman. But most of all, at Monroe, we are proud of our outstanding students. At Monroe, we are family. We are the jewel of the city. Tonight, I have the pleasure of introducing you to two of our outstanding students. First, I'd like to introduce you to a young lady who has participated in volleyball, softball, and cheerleading. Her academic honors include high honor roll, perfect attendance, and student of the year. Athletically, she's been a Coaches Award winner for softball and volleyball. She's been a Charles Turner Award winner, an award that goes out to someone who has high academic and athletic accomplishments, as well as good sportsmanship and conduct. She currently has a 4.87 GPA and will be attending RIT in the fall to study biomedical science. It's my pleasure to present to you Chanel Giddens. Congratulations, Chanel. Chanel, you've been a three-sport athlete since you've been in 7th grade. You've excelled in sports and in academics. How have you managed balancing athletics and academics?
Academics have always came first for me because I always feel as if you cannot meet the expectations in the classroom, well, how are you supposed to lead by example on the court and or on and off the field? And as well as I know that with me balancing sports and academics, it is setting me up for a successful future.
Great job. Congratulations, Chanel.
Thank you.
The next young lady I'm going to introduce to you to. Over the years, she has participated in volleyball, cheerleading, and softball. She is an outstanding student who has a 5.01 weighted GPA. She plans on attending St. John Fisher in the fall to study nursing. She is an excellent character student. She makes Monroe better every day simply by coming. She is ranked 3rd in her class, and she is truly a strong academic and good character student. It's my pleasure to introduce Ilianis Cornier. Congratulations.
Thank
that takes
you.
care of Monroe, Dr. Cotto.
Thank you, Mr. Whitman. Next up, we have School of the Arts with Mr. David Michelson.
Thank you, Carlos. Good afternoon, everybody. I don't think I've ever had two more worthy Scholar Athlete Award recipients since I've been at School of the Arts since 2005. And I'm also the most senior AD in the district, and I don't think I've ever come across a stronger candidate class than this one. My male recipient is Ross Janizik. Ross is an outstanding role model in school with great leadership skills, who will no doubt be successful in whatever he does. He plans to attend RIT in the fall. He played on our baseball and cross-country teams. He also played volleyball, participated on indoor track. He was on our ski club. So an all-around outstanding athlete, but also in the classroom, not too shabby either. He was 3rd in his class. He was a recipient of the George Eastman Young Leaders Award, National Honor Society. He won our Invest in Yourself Award last year, an award that was named after Greg Walters at our school. Also received the American Chemical Society Award, and will graduate with a Advanced Regents Diploma with honors and Master in Math and Science. My question to Ross is, how has your high school sports experience prepared you for the future?
Thanks, Mr. Michelson. My high school sports experiences has prepared me because sports allow me to disconnect from school so I can refocus myself in the classroom. It keeps my schedule busy, so I don't have time to procrastinate or waste time on other things. And it's just a way to overall escape any negativity or stress in my life. So it's helped me a bunch.
Thank you, Ross. We're very proud of you, and congrats again, and good luck in your future endeavors. My female recipient is India Jordan. India is another outstanding role model at our school, not only in the classroom, but as well as on the volleyball and basketball court. Academically, she was a National Honor Society recipient, high honor roll, Urban League Black Scholars, received the Martin Luther King Jr. Award, a Channel 10 Scholar Athlete of the Week. Athletically, she has received numerous MVPs for basketball and volleyball, a first team's selection for RCAC Award, Scholar Athlete of the Week. She surpassed the 1,000-point mark, I believe, last year as a junior. And just gets mentioned on and on and on as far as accolades in athletics. So we're very, very proud of her. She plans to attend Valdosta State on a basketball scholarship down in Georgia. And I'm sure, and I believe she's going to be majoring in sports medicine there. So I'm sure she will be successful as well, based on what we have seen from her at SOTA. We're very proud of you, India. My question to you is, how do you go about balancing academics and sports to the level that you've been so successful at?
Thank you, Mr. Michelson. And personally, I do all of my academic work first because I literally can't sleep, can't even think to do anything else. If my work is not done and I know I have something due the night before, I'm very restless until I get it done, and I cannot start a task and not finish it in one setting. So that's how I balance academics and sports, was just get academics done first, and then you can have fun on the court, on the track, on the field, and everything else.
Thank you. I might also add that India had to join our Zoom presentation late because she had an interview that she was a part of. So she's a go-getter, and we're so very proud of her. And again, I think she will certainly be successful in whatever she does. So thank you again, and congratulations, India.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Michelson. Next up is Wilson Commencement with Mrs. Daisy Morales. Daisy, you there?
Sorry, guys. Thank you, Dr. Cotto. I forgot to mute myself. In behalf of Wilson Magnet High School, I want to congratulate not only our scholar athletes, but also all the recipients that have achieved this award. This is something that we all take seriously, and when we look at all of our athletes in our programs, we select the ones that we feel represent not only themselves, but also our school community, and not only as far just athletic-wise, but also academically. And that's something we focus on that. I also would like to thank the board, because this year has been a challenge to make this happen, and everybody went out of the way to make sure that these young ladies and gentlemen were recognized in the middle of the mist. So our first recipient, female recipient, is Maria Sanfratello. Maria is a senior at Wilson Magnet High School. She has been at Wilson for some years now. Her mom's name is Amy Sanfratello, but she also has a sister who are very strong supporters of everything that she does. Her GPA, 4.0, 4.6 average. She has been on a roll for a while. She's a 3-sport athlete. She has done fall and winter cheerleading and softball. And she has been awarded the Sportsmanship Award a couple years in a row. She actually focusing on a major in college would be child and family and minor in psychology. She's planning on going to Cayuga College, and she enjoys listening to music and hang out with friends. And in a very interesting way, because Maria, when she's waiting for her practices, she actually waits in the lobby and she socializes with everyone. That's something that I have always admired about Maria, that she doesn't do cliques. She spends time with everyone equally, and that made her very popular at our school. Maria, question for you. Similar to what Mr. Davidson said from Soda, I want to know, as a young lady going through high school years, obviously trying to balance your academics and sports, what impact being in sports, being active in sport had in your high school years? Looking at the challenges that a lot of seniors have in high school years can have.
So basically I hold on, I'm thinking, I'm sorry. Some things that I had went through with sports was when I did come to the school first thing, in 10th grade, I came in ready to do cheerleading and everyone welcomed me. So it was very nice to learn. Every team is like another family to you. It's not like you're just a team. You guys are friends, you spend time together, you build as a team, and you become a better bond. So it made me able to become friends with more people faster because I was able to socialize more.
Thank you, Maria.
You're welcome.
Our next recipient, Carlos, can you go to the next? Is Dejan Cromarty. Dejan, what a personality. I mean, him and Maria, they can make friends without a problem. I mean, these kids are very liked by everyone. They don't get into cliques. They don't get into any commotion. They always walk away from everything that is negative, but yet they are the positive force that try to make people get along. Dejan, and as far as his future goes, he is planning to go to college as well. He at Wilson, he has been in honor roll for some time. He has been awarded the Black Scholar Award. He played football, baseball, basketball, and indoor track. He has been recognized by the National Football Foundation Hall of Fame, and he has been a scholar athlete during his football season. His mother is Deja Ashford. We also want to thank her for the support she has provided when throughout obviously challenging time, football being such a long and challenging season. I definitely want to thank the parents for the support they have given to us. He also volunteers in the Henrietta Clean Sweep program, and he's planning to attend St. John Fisher College in the fall. He will be majoring in accounting. He already has his plan in place. And he, part of his hobbies, if you guys know my coach, Coach Mortier, football coach, he coaches, trains the kids year round. And he's one of the kids that he's always in the weight room. And that's one of his favorite things to do during his free time is just weightlifting. He does enjoy playing video games and he does enjoy listening to music. So Dejan, I want to ask you the same question I asked Maria. When you look at your high school years, and obviously the challenge of being an athlete and also make sure you're doing well academically, what role do you think sports play in your high school years that will prepare you for the future?
So for me, football was more, it was always like a first love for me. School was always put as a priority by my mom. So even before I started playing football, it was always school. So school was always there. I already had that down packed. So playing football was just helping me prepare for college with my time management and learning how to do all my work and still play sports before I get to college.
Okay, thank you. So I also would like to now introduce my school principal, Julie Vanderwater. She has been a strong supporter to the athletic program, and I would like her to, have the floor.
Julie, you there? Julie?
She may not be able to connect, so we can move on then.
Ms. Morales, thank you. Next up is going to be World of Inquiry, and this will be Donna Enright.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of all of World of Inquiry, we would like to congratulate all the athletes. I'm listening to these young men and women and all the accomplishments they've had, and I truly believe that this class is by far our top. And our two young winners are truly amazing, and we are so proud of them. The first one is Mariana Webster Hubbard. She is a 12th grader. Her mother is Anna Marie Webster, and her uncle is Alan Webster. She has a GPA of a 4.69. She is an Urban Black Scholar. She was a high honor roll through her entire career, 9 through 12, National Honor Society winner, and Rochester Children's Scholarship winner. So what's special, there's so much special about Mariana. She is very, very quiet. And through the years, she has just grown into this young woman that is such a leader, and we're just really, really proud of her. Because not only does she play sports at World of Inquiry, she also played sports at Franklin and at Wilson. And I think it's a true testament to her courage and leadership and just being able to adapt. And she has grown to be leaders in their clubs too. Everybody knows World of Inquiry doesn't have the athletic facilities, but we travel and we travel well. We are crew, and we are very happy to say that she is probably one of the best leaders in that, and she gets other kids to join her. So it really has helped in our success. She is going to Roberts Wesleyan. She's going to study criminal justice. And I have a question for you, Mariana. What impact has high school sports played in your life, and how has it prepared you for your future?
High school athletics has been a safe haven for me throughout high school while juggling AP courses and responsibilities as an older sister and working. Sports has been a stress reliever most of my high school career. It has prepared me for the future because it has taught me how to adapt to change. At my school, as you said, I had to combine with other schools such as Franklin and Wilson to play other sports, and that change has and it won't stop me from excelling.
Very good. So proud of you. And also her family accomplishments. So we wish you the best of luck, Mariana. Our other award winner is Amani McCrae. He is a senior. Parents are Kimberly and Olden McCrae. Amani has the highest GPA of this group at 5.02. He's an Urban Black Scholar. He also has high honor roll through his entire career, 9 through 12. National Honor Society, played varsity volleyball, varsity basketball, and varsity tennis. Amani plans to go to the Academy of Art, University of San Francisco to study fashion design. His parents are extremely proud of him. They feel privileged, honored, and blessed to have him as their son. Amani, what impact has high school sports played in your life, and how has it prepared you for the future?
High school athletics has taught me time management, self-discipline, and responsibility. Although I am an athlete, I am also a student first, and I will plan to do homework even days before it was due if I knew I had a game that week. If I need help in certain classes, I will stay after school or go during lunch to get help so my grades wouldn't drop. Sports taught me how to manage my priorities, and it will also prepare me for my future by preparing me for college. So in college, time management is key, and by having a routine and schedule, it will only help me to succeed in college.
Great. Thank you so much, Amani. We're very, very proud of you and wish you the best of luck. We would also like to thank our principal, Ms. Pantoa, all the administration at the school for all the support, because we're crew and we have a ton of fans at our games, and we're very, very proud. Thank you for having this opportunity to showcase all the young athletes.
Thank you, Ms. Enright. And Amani, I'd also like to share that your mom, seeing that she couldn't attend today, wanted me to make sure to let you know that she is so proud of you and privileged to have you as a son. She wanted to make sure that that was shared during this particular Zoom. So continue to do what you're doing. And like we shared in our visit, make sure to come back and lead and mentor our youth here in the Rochester community.
Thank you.
Again. I'd like to, Ms. Vanderwater was trying to connect, so if we can have Ms. Vanderwater speak real quick before we transition to Rochester Early College. She there? Julie might be having some technical difficulties. So we're going to transition to Rochester Early College with Mr. Joel LaPetra.
Good evening, everybody. It's just an honor to be part of this tonight. Watching this and being the last athletic director to go tonight, I just want to commend Dr. Cotto and all the athletic directors and the board and everybody for allowing this to happen tonight. It's just great to see all the athletes and also all the athletic directors, all the great things they have to say. And I just want to recognize and congratulate all the athletes tonight. What a great accomplishment. It's something to be so proud of when you look back on your career. Some of you have another year to go, but most of you are going on to the next level. And I just want to wish you well in all your future academic and athletic endeavors. And I know you're going to do the Rochester City School District proud. One of our athletes, who you see on the screen, Rosalinda Justiano, she was all set to be part of this today, and she was really excited for the last 3 days, but she could not attend tonight. She got called into work at about 1 p.m. this afternoon, so she was a little bummed, but she wanted to say thank you, and thank you for recognizing her. And the good thing is she has another year to go. So maybe you'll see her again next June here. You never know. Our next award winner for the Male Athlete of the Year, Scholar Athlete of the Year for Rochester Early College is Jakir Moore. Where do I begin with Jakir? I've watched Jakir grow up. Literally, he's a special individual. He's got a bright future. The accolades that Jakir has accomplished over his career is just amazing, including MVP for outdoor and indoor for 2 years, first team All-Greater Rochester, both indoor and outdoor, two-time sectional champion, a state qualifier, state champ, varsity football, second team AGR, and he won a sectional championship, contributor to that team. And the other great things about Jakir is his involvement in the community. He does quite a bit at the Boys and Girls Club of Rochester, and he gave his own items and necessities to the homeless shelter across Rochester. He plans on attending Alabama State and major in sports medicine. Jakir also is an individual who speaks very well in regard to what he wants to accomplish, and he's a very confident young man, and I could just see great things for him in the future. Jakir, I have a question for you, my friend. Can you tell the board and all of us listening tonight what benefits and essential life skills have you learned as a scholar athlete in the Rochester City School District?
Jakir, you there?
Can you see him on the screen?
I cannot. He's a young man that we'd love to speak because he does a phenomenal job with it. But, Joe, if you can text him.
Yeah.
And what we'll do is we'll go to the next, and then we can come back.
Sounds great.
Thank you, though. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate the time and all the support across the entire district. Thank you very much.
Next we have Ria, the principal, Mary Angel Diaz.
Hi, everyone. So I'm going to read because I get so excited about my students that I'll forget something. But first of all, I have to thank Dr. Cotto for supporting my students because we're a program. They have to play at different schools. And I really want to thank Dr. Cotto for allowing Donna Enright to be our athletic director. She goes above and beyond, and huge shout outs to Donna. We really appreciate her. Also, our amazing board liaison, VP Elliott, who is always at RIA supporting what we do. I want to give a shout out to Commissioner Shepard because I always hear her talking about athletics, and athletics saved my life. You ready, everyone? 44 years ago, I was a scholar athlete at Benjamin Franklin High School, and I'm so glad to see the Franklin name coming back to our district. So with that, Ayat, my amazing, beautiful Ayat, she is our first scholar athlete. And Ayat Al-Salami is a barrier and stereotype breaker. Ayat and her family came to the United States as refugees speaking zero English from Iraq, a country where as a young woman, she would have never been able to play sports or be a leader. But she did, and she is, with the amazing support of her family, especially her father, who wants her to be the best young woman she can be. It's important to note that Ayat passed all of her Regents exams before January, so she doesn't need COVID-19 to pass the Regents. She is graduating with a 4.7 GPA and will be attending Nazareth to become a nurse practitioner. Ayat is our student and our school-based planning team. We're going to miss her so much. She's a Hillside Work Scholarship winner, a member of the RIA Student Government, a Susan B. Anthony Award winner, member of the Global Citizen Conference, and she is our Arabic voice. Even during this pandemic, I go to her when we need assistance. She's also an amazing artist, and she will leave Rio with our new logo. One of the most beautiful visions I have ever witnessed and ever seen is Ayat playing tennis for Wilson with her beautiful hijab flowing with so much pride and respect. Ayat, your RIA family is RIA proud of you, and we will miss you so much. And Ayat, I want to know this, and I want everyone to know this, that you balance your love of your family, the respect of your religion and your culture, and academics and sports at the highest level. And I would like to give you the opportunity in your first language to say something to your family, and then in English, anything else you'd like to say. Go ahead, my beautiful Ayat.
Thank you, Ms. Diaz. I would like to talk in Arabic. أول شيء بدي أشكر بيت جدي وعائلتي والمديرة مالتي مس دياز، هي اللي ساعدتني ودفعتني وخلتني اللحظة، وأريد أشكرهم كلياتهم. وأنا كلش فرحانة هسه لأن صرت لهاي المرحلة وقمت ألعب تنس. Okay. I would like to talk about how I balance my school working and tennis and thanking other teachers. I tried my best to balance my schoolwork and playing tennis. Whenever I feel like I'm left behind, I ask my teachers to help me. But it has always been that my academic comes first, and it's very important for me because this is my future. I had a great experience meeting new students who are not from my school, and we work as one team. I really want to thank my RIA teachers. They helped me a lot and they supported me. I want to thank my principal, Ms. Diaz, who believed in me that I can do it, and I'm so happy that she's proud of me. I also want to thank my parents who encouraged me and supported me. And of course, I won't forget my coach who trained me a lot and trusted me to play singles, and I won a lot of single matches. So I really want to, so I was really surprised of myself so much for choosing me to have this scholar athlete.
Thank you, Ayat. And Ayat, thank you for recognizing the RIA staff. I really did have it written down. I just, I forget. And so thank you to our amazing RIA staff that supports all of our athletes. Our second scholar athlete, he's got the most amazing name. We love to say Mapenzi's name, Mapenzi Johanna. Mapenzi and his family came to the United States as refugees, speaking no English, from Tanzania. Mapenzi is being honored for a sport that he loves and played in bare feet in Africa, and this year he played soccer at East High School. Mapenzi also passed all of his regents before January, and again, does not need COVID-19 to pass a regents exam, and he is graduating with an amazing 4.6 GPA. He will attend MCC to play soccer, then move to a 4-year school to study human resources. So watch out, Harry Kennedy, he's coming for your job. Mapenzi is a proud RIA leader. He is a Hillside Work Scholarship winner, an Urban League Black Scholar, an MLK Junior Award winner, a member of the RCSD Student Leadership Council, RIA Student Government, a member of our RIA World Drum Ensemble, and he helps all of our new families with the language of Swahili, and he continues to do so during this pandemic, where many of our Swahili-speaking families who are our newest members coming to Rochester recently that are having a really hard time during this time. Mapenzi took on the title of role model for his own family and our RIA family. And it is a title that he takes very seriously. And if you have a moment, I would ask you to check out his Twitter account, where he is already using his voice in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. Mapenzi, your RIA family is so RIA proud of you. You are brave and you use your voice for goodness. So in your first language, please speak to your family, and then in English if there's anything else you would like to say. Go ahead, my amazing Mapenzi.
Good evening, everyone. So basically, I don't have any, nobody's around me right now because I'm in my room and everyone is on the TV. But I will just say the few words in Swahili. Anapenda kushukuru sana kwa kushinda tuzo hii, kwa maana ilikuwa ni kama ndoto kushinda kitu kama na hiki. Toka nifike hapa Rochester, New York mwaka wa 2016. Nilianza kucheza mpira mwaka 2017 nikiwa na ndoto ya kushinda hata kitu kimoja tu katika career yangu ya kucheza mpira, lakini sikuweza kufikia malengo yangu yote yale, kwa maana lengo langu kubwa ilikuwa kushinda session of visa champion, but sikuweza kufikia huko, kwa maana kila tulikuwa tukicheza ligi zote ambazo tumecheza, kwa maana nilicheza mara yangu ya kwanza nimecheza kwenye timu ya Edison kwa miaka 2, lakini kwa hiyo mara yote tumeishia kwenye sessional games, na ikawa hivyo. Na mara hii ya mwisho ya darasa langu la mwisho la my senior year nilicheza kwenye timu, lakini ilikuwa ni season nzuri tu, kwa maana kila kitu kilienda vizuri kama jinsi nilivyotaka, hata licha tu kuweza kupata ushindi. I would just want to say thank you for everyone, all my staff, and because they stopped supporting me since my first day, my first season, when I started playing at Edison. So basically it was a beautiful journey of playing soccer and play the sport I love since I was young, 5 years old, in the camp I came from. And also I would like to thank my little brothers, even if they're not with me in my room right now, but when I played, even since I started playing with Edison, they've been at my games, Franklin, and sometimes if my coach let them drive with us in the bus, we go together in the bus. They've been most of my game, even if sometimes if they don't have rides, some of our teachers, they come here, they pick them up, and then they went to my game. They start supporting me since I started playing for Edison. Even when I was playing with East, they've been almost like all of my games. But I don't have a lot to say. I just want to say thanks to all the teachers and my little brothers. There's a lot to come because I'm still continue playing soccer, so it's not the end yet.
Thank you, Mackenzie. And if I can end with the fact that you heard Mackenzie thank the staff at Edison and the staff at East High School, and you heard I thank the staff at Wilson. So on behalf of all my students that have to go out to play at other schools, we appreciate the support and we appreciate you helping us break down the barriers and xenophobia. Go Ria, I'm so proud.
Thank you, Ms. Andrew Coach Diaz. Thank you. And last school is going to be Edison Tech, and we're going to have the principal, Mr. Jacob Scott.
Thank you. Good afternoon. On behalf of the Edison and P-Tech campus, I would like to thank the school board, Dr. Cotto, our awesome Chief Green, our superintendent, Dr. Meyer Small, and the other student athletes who are being recognized this afternoon. At the Edison campus, our student athletes believe through athletics and life, you should learn to master the textbook, stay with the playbook, and of course, live within the context of the rule book. So today I have the opportunity of celebrating two exceptional student athletes who attend the Edison and P-Tech campus. Our first student athlete is Miss Tori Arterberry. Miss Tori Arterberry is recognized also by her parents, Valerie Jenkins and Torrance Arterberry, here at the Edison Tech campus. She's one of our top 20 seniors with a GPA of 3.0. She will be attending MCC in the fall. She was the captain of our varsity volleyball team. She participates in our Emerging Leaders program and volunteers at the Maplewood Library. She will be majoring next year at MCC in psychology, and she enjoys reading, exercising, and playing volleyball. Ms. Arterberry is exceptional. It's been a blessing having her being a part of our athletic program here at the Edison Tech campus. Next, I have the honor of introducing a young man who's a senior in our P-Tech program at the Edison Tech campus under the direction of Ms. Latricia Fuller, who's our P-Tech director. His mother, Ms. Anisha White, fully supports him. I've known her for quite some time, along actually with his grandmother who works here at the Edison Tech campus, who actually graduated from the campus. Mr. Jones has a GPA of a 4.34. He's a 3-year Black Scholar. He's RCSD Board of Education Black History Month Celebration Award winner for 2 years in a row. He's 2019 RCAC volleyball champion. He's a 2020 Section 5 Class A 300-meter champion, and also the New York State Public High School Athletic Association Award winner for the Sportsmanship Award. In the fall, Mr. Jones, I would like to say Dr. Jones, will be attending Kent State University, majoring in business management and entrepreneurship. He loves to draw, and he's a photographer. Along those lines, Mr. Jones exemplifies a true definition of what a true student athlete truly is in our district, as Mr. Dr. Jones is our campus's valedictorian, and once again from our P-Tech program. I'd like to introduce Mr. Jones to provide you with a few words.
Thanks, Mr. Scott. I'd just like to say to all the current seniors that are going on to play sports in college, and for like lower classmen that are still participating in high school sports, it's really important to recognize how much you love your sport. Because for me, school was always prioritized, so I wasn't really worried about that aspect of being a student athlete. But when you're playing a sport for 4 years, you got to learn to love it. And I realized how much track and volleyball meant to me when I had 2 separate injuries, one 10th grade year and one junior year for each of my hamstrings. And during that time, it was really difficult for me because I wanted to get up, I wanted to run, I wanted to participate, because that took up a lot of my time and a lot of my passion, and that's what kept me driven. So I think it's really important to know what you want to get out of school and the sports that you participate in.
Awesome. I'd like to, again, just thank Ms. Arterberry and also our valedictorian for the class of 2020 here at the Edison Tech P-Tech campus, Mr. Adrian Jones. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Scott, and thank you, Mr. Jones, for closing it out in that of the presentations and that of the students. As we close, I mean, we are going to transition into video, but I think as we process this overall kind of recognition and see the depth and breadth of the work of these young men and young ladies, it's a true testament to the impact that sports can have on our children's lives. And if we do balance those two things, the doors that open for these young men and women, given that we've got 22 young men and young ladies today, 19 of those are going off to college. I mean, it says a lot on how, when it comes to things that our children are interested in, how we balance that, how it just creates those opportunities. I think as we process the state in which we're in, as a society, these are our future leaders. These are the young men and women that will be leading in the future. So it is important for these young men and women to know their purpose and to not forget about Rochester as they go on to college, to make sure they come back, become leaders and mentors within our community. Many other young men and women are looking up to these young men and young ladies within the community as we speak. So it is important. And as I had those conversations, you'll see through the interviews, we've got some very inspiring, motivated, passionate leaders within this group that are going to come back to Rochester. And it's our job as the adults to kind of lead that way, given a lot of the things that are going on within our community and in society as a whole. So again, I just empower us as the adults, but also encourage these young men and young ladies to continue to balance the work and the joy of participating in sports, and not forget about the families and those that have supported them throughout this journey, because they're going to need that support as they go on to college. But definitely stay connected with us so that we can continue to support them as well. So in closing, I'll turn it over to the overall video. I want to again thank Mr. Robert Daniels for assisting within that to capture the voices of all of our students. So thank you again.
Hi, my name is Ilianis Cornier. I go to James Monroe High School. I'm hopefully going to MCC or St. John Fisher for nursing. I want to thank Gina, my mom, my dad, my brother.
What I'd like to do is just ask you a few questions. Yes, congratulations. First question is, being a scholar athlete, you've had to balance both your academic and your athletic responsibilities. Can you share a little bit about how you managed to do that?
Some things that I would do is like before, because cheerleading would normally start around 4:30, so we stay after school for 2 hours. So I would just start my homework and get it all done, and then I would automatically start doing other things. If I had other work for the next day, just continue doing it, and then later on that night, if I had more, keep working on it, and then if not, and then if I don't get to it, next day, home base, get it done, and then turn it. That's basically what I did.
Now, what was the impact of sports? What did it have on your life as far as being a student?
It kept me busy.
Kept you busy?
And in shape, and then I also got able to, I wasn't stuck in the house. So if I knew if I was home, I would be a procrastinator. I wouldn't do my work. Knowing that I have sports, I was able to, I have to have my grades up to be able to play. So I have to do my work.
Okay, that balance.
Yeah.
Now, what are your future plans?
I'm going to CUCA in in the fall, and then I'm going to study child and family, and then minor in psychology, and I'm planning on playing softball in the fall.
Congratulations and best of luck.
Thank you.
Now, who would you like to thank? Given all these accomplishments, who would you like to thank?
I think mostly my parents and my sister for doing everything. Sorry.
That's okay.
My friends.
I know it's tough.
Mr. Polo and Miss Morales for doing everything they could for me, and when I came to the school, I was welcomed with open arms. If I needed anything, they were there, and I appreciate it.
That's great. That's great. I mean, that support helped you get you to where you are, and it'll keep you moving in the right direction. So best of luck as you go on to college, and
Thank you.
Don't forget to come back and tell your story and motivate and inspire others to do the same.
Thank you.
Wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
School of the Arts. Very proud of Ross. He participated on our cross country and baseball teams for the past several years. Kind of lost count.
Yeah.
But You're going to
RIT.
RIT. He's going to bring his talents to RIT in the fall. So we're very proud of him. So here's the plaque.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, can you tell us what you're going to be studying?
I'm studying engineering at RIT.
Okay, great. And what's your future plans? What you want
to? Mechanical engineer, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Engineering.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chanel Giddens. I will be attending RIT this fall for biomedical science to become a neurosurgeon. Being at Monroe High School, academics always came first for me, and I played volleyball, cheer, softball, and ultimate frisbee. I would like to give a big thanks to my mom, my dad, all my coaches, and all the teachers and staff who supported me along the way. Thank you.
My future goals, I'm going to Valdosta State University in Georgia to play Division II NCAA basketball, and I will also study sports medicine and health sciences to later become an athletic trainer or a physical therapist. So I'm excited about that.
Great, thank you.
All right. Eric Robinson, athletic director at East High School. I'm here with Kerry Barley. I want to present to him the Rochester City School District Scholar Athlete Award of the Year and congratulate him for all the hard work he's done with us this year.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Thank you. I'm honored.
So there's a series of questions that we talked about. I want to ask you a couple of those questions. Can you please share how you balance your academic and athletic responsibilities?
It's really just balancing time. Like in school, you have time to do your work, so it's just really using that time wisely and then doing what you have to do on the court, but also doing what you have to do when you get home, off the court, doing homework, stuff like that. That is really important.
How has athletics impacted your life?
It impacts my everyday life. I revolve my schedule around times that I could play basketball, times when I could play basketball any chance I get. So yeah, I just try to play whenever, honestly, whenever I'm not doing anything.
Tell us what your future plans are.
I plan on going to Deweyville College to play basketball and pursue a business degree, and I plan on owning my own business one day.
And who would you like to acknowledge for your success?
I'd like to thank God and all my family, Mr. Robinson, all the teachers that helped me, all my counselors, everything, and all my friends also. They also helped me for a big step, and then my teammates too. Definitely my guys, my brothers, and everybody that just helped me. Yeah.
I'm here with Karen Maltero, and I'm here to present her with the Rochester City School District Scholar Athlete Award for 2019-20. Karen.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about what you did to sort of prepare yourself for athletics and academics at the same time?
I kind of just had to be focused, make sure that I get everything done in the classroom, get down to business so that I wouldn't have to worry about it outside of it as much, so that I could focus on like my sports and practice when I'm there. That's pretty much.
Good. How has sports impacted your life?
It created a lot of bonds with friends in school, especially with coaches and like other teachers that helped me out during practices and stuff. It also actually helped me like stay on top of my work, because I knew that after practice I would be tired, so I would have to do it before practice, and yeah, it kept me
Good,
going.
thanks. Can you tell us a little about your future plans? What are you planning? What's next for you?
So yeah, I plan on doing a 2+2 with MCC in St. John for nursing. I want to become a prenatal nurse, working with pregnancy and that.
And who would you like to thank for your success?
First, God, then my parents, family, friends, teachers, everybody who kept me going, kept me on top of my work.
All right, thank you. Good job. All right, so now the next one is the...
Hello, everybody. My name is Mr. Roach. I'm the athletic director here over at Northeast Douglas High School, and I'm very excited to present Lamar Lovelace, our Male Scholar Athlete of the Year for the year 2019-2020. Congratulations, Lamar.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, Lamar. What's your plans this year after graduating?
I'm planning on taking my talents to North Carolina to further my basketball career at a prep school called Franklin Prep Academy.
Can you say that a little louder?
Franklin Prep Academy.
Okay, great. And what is your goals in life to do? Either some kind of workforce or anything?
I'm dream chasing right now, so hopefully I could make my mom proud, cherish her life, and get to the NBA.
Okay, great. Anybody at the school or your life that you want to give a shout out to?
I want to give a shout out to all the teachers, like everybody that helped me through the journey, coaches, mentors, everybody played a part of my life, and I appreciate that.
And your mom?
Yeah, my mom, they know.
What about your friends?
They're my brothers. They played a big part in that. They keep me motivated, and we all just dream chasers.
Any special names, your friends?
Shout out my boy Nicholas, Jamir, Trey, all the guys. There's many more, but
okay.
You know.
Is there any basketball players that you know on other teams that you want to give a shout out to, that you on other schools that you played against? That you
shout out to my boy Zach. Like, he kept me from winning sectionals, but off the court, that's my dog. I rock with him. You know, brothers. Shout out my boy DeAndre from BK. We supposed to be doing something special, but yeah, shout out to them guys.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hi, on behalf of the Northeast Athletic Department, I'm very, very proud to present the Scholar Athlete Award to Anaya McMillan-Burrows. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I don't know.
Anaya. Is it Anaya?
Yes.
Say your full name, please.
Anaya McMillan-Burrows.
Okay, Anaya. Where are you planning to attend school?
Probably both state.
All right. And what do you want to study?
Business.
Business? Yes. And what's your future goals in life? What do you?
I don't know. I want to like start my own business type.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any staff members, friends, family members you want to give a shout out to?
Roach for the award. My coach, Lex, my dad, my brothers. Yeah.
Okay. Any teachers, friends?
My English teacher, Miss Albertani.
All right. Okay. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, just like not trying to fit in, because nowadays it's a lot of kids that don't stay on course, that want to follow the in crowd, and my mom and dad always make sure, like, if anything, I make my own crowd and like lead. I got little brothers looking up to me, so I want to set good examples, be a great role model for them. So just being the best me that I can be, to make sure that my priorities first, and I take care of my business first instead of trying to have fun, because the fun gonna come later. So I just make sure I take care of my business.
Well, that's extremely powerful, and I'll tell you what, that's something that we've got to make sure that all of our young men and women within the district understand and realize, especially as an athlete, because you're a leader and a mentor and people look up to you. So, you know, that's a great thing. Second question, what does sports mean to you? You know, what impact has it had in your life?
You know, sports is like, you know, like, what just gave me that extra like just me working out and all that stuff as a young man, just seeing how far it got me so far, and like the success that I have off of basketball and football, it just means a lot to me. Like, it's another way out, you know. So like, just me going hard, like everything I do, my parents make sure I get 110%. I go hard on everything. So sports was just there for me, and like I put in the hours and time for it, and it's paying off.
Now, what are your future plans? I know you're a junior, you got one more year left, but what are your future plans?
My future plans is like, to have a D1 scholarship or a D2 scholarship, you know, make sure my parents don't have to pay out of their pocket as much. Just to make sure that then once I go to college, it's not all about sports for me. I want to make sure I have education, because like the ball not gonna bounce forever. So make sure I have education and make sure I leave college with more knowledge before I came in. So just make sure I have good, you know, college fun out here, so at least I have a good experience at college.
Well, listen, it looks like you have a nice strong foundation, and you know the future looks bright for you. So stay focused on those particular things that you've shared. It looks like your parents and you know, you see you're trying to be a role model to your siblings as well. So that's beautiful. Last question is, who would you like to thank in reference to all of this success that you've accomplished so far?
I would like to thank my parents first. My dad, my mom, my sisters, my little brothers, even though they and then secondly, I would thank my leadership family, Mr. Thomas, our staff, my coaches, my counselor. Then I would like to thank RCSD for gifting me with this great reward, and I'm very thankful and appreciative.
All right, well, Maurice, we're looking forward to seeing you next year. I know that during this time, given this COVID-19, and you know, you've got to balance all these things at home, and it's not easy when you're an athlete and you want to be out there, you know, doing those particular things. But I wish you nothing but the best, and I look forward to seeing you, you know, as we transition into 2021. Congratulations once again.
Hello, my name is Tori Arterberry. I want to thank Rochester City School District for giving me this award. I want to thank my coaches. I want to thank my teammates. I want to thank my parents for being a huge influence. I want to thank my teachers for helping me in school, especially with my grades. I would be joining the MCC in the fall for psychology. You guys can look forward to that, and I will be staying in Rochester to become a good leader.
Given that you've received this honor, can you share with us how you went about balancing both your academic and athletic responsibilities?
So basically, what I did was kind of make myself a schedule. So like in the afternoon, I'll focus on my sports, and I'll make sure I have my schoolwork done first, and then yeah, basically just had everything planned out.
So planning it helped you balance it out, make sure that you know what you have to do at what given time throughout the course of the day. Now, what kind of impact has sport had in your life?
It taught me to basically never give up, keep pushing yourself, and no matter the challenges, to keep working.
Now, what are your future plans?
To go to college, play basketball, and then become like a athletic trainer. If not, then focus on something with nursing.
Are you looking on doing that right here in Rochester, or are you?
I'm trying to go to North Carolina.
Okay, and you're gonna stay out there?
Yeah.
Okay, it's nice and warm out there compared to here, but we'd love to have you back. And I think, you know, as you go on and take on all these different kind of career goals, make sure to come back and don't be a stranger here in Rochester. You know, many of our young ladies and young men will look up to you and all your accomplishments, so I'd love for you to come back and share that wisdom with them as far as choices and decisions, and you know, getting to where you currently are going. Last question is, who would you like to thank in reference to all of these particular accomplishments that you've had?
I would like to thank my mom, because even though like she pushed me to work hard and to focus on what I love to do.
Well, again, on behalf of the Rochester City School District, we want to thank you, congratulate you, and also wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you.
Recognized as a scholar athlete, can you share a little bit about how you've been able to balance both academics and athletics?
At the same time, in each part of what I do, study after practice is hard. Waking up to games is hard. Everything is kind of hard, but you just got to balance it and make it happen.
Okay. Now, what has sports done to you, you know, for you in your life? What impact has it had?
A lot. I had a lot of opportunities, a lot of practice outside of school.
Okay.
A lot of gaming outside of school, a team out of school. I also play in school.
Now, what are your future plans?
Keep playing my sport in college and go to NCAA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So you're gonna keep working throughout the summer and get yourself ready for next year?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if there were anyone that you wanted to thank, given these accomplishments, who would those people be?
My mom and my coaches.
Okay. Good. Well, again, I wish you nothing but the best. And you know, you heading off to college next year?
Yeah.
Where are you heading?
I don't know yet. I got a lot in the plate.
Okay.
They send me mails and stuff.
Okay, well, good. Well, we wish you nothing but the best. And, you know, good luck with not only the volleyball, but also your academics. And what do you want to major in?
I don't know right
Not
now.
yet? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And again, best of luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, yeah, on behalf of the Rochester City School District, we want to congratulate you on this distinguished honor. And that of being a scholar athlete, one of very few. There's only 22 of them across the entire Rochester City School District. So, on behalf of the district, we want to congratulate you. I'm going to have Mrs. Diaz, Andrew College Diaz, hand you the plaque.
Yay!
Thank you so much.
I'm so proud of you. You know I love you.
Thank
Look at
you,
this, so
Diaz.
beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, we do have a couple questions. Given that you've been recognized as a scholar athlete, can you share with us how you balance both your academics and your athletics and those responsibilities?
I actually worked so hard to be in this point, and I try to balance between my classwork and my assignment and my homework and with my athletic tennis. It was really great, and my teachers helped me a lot. So I'm so thankful for my teachers that they helped me.
Okay. Now, how about sports? What impact has sports had in your life?
Since I was young, I really love playing tennis, and my parents noticed that, and that's why they really pushed me forward, and they told me and improved me to do that, to play soccer.
Now, what are your future plans?
My future plan is to go to college, that's college, hopefully, and I want to be a nurse practitioner.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And one last question: who would you like to thank, in helping you accomplish all of these?
Of course, I want to thank Ms. Diaz. She's my hero. She's my hero. I don't know what else to say, but she's everything. I really love her, and she's the one who make me to be in this point. So I really love her.
Awesome. Well, yet again, on behalf of the district, we want to congratulate you and wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you
and
so
please
much.
make sure to come back. You
Yeah,
said
of
Nazareth,
course.
so you'll be in the area. So come back
Yeah, I will.
and be a leader and mentor to the other young men and young women in this community as well.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you. So Penzi, on behalf of the Rochester City School District, we'd like to congratulate you on this year's Scholar Athlete Award.
Thank you.
And I also want to share with you that you're only one of 22 student athletes across the Rochester City School District that has received this award. So it is an honor for me to share this with you. And I want to ask you a couple questions, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So first question is, seeing that you've received this Scholar Athlete Award, can you tell me how you went about balancing both your academic and your athletic responsibilities?
Basically, sometimes it's very hard to do schoolwork and to manage my own time, like to play soccer and do all the family stuff. But I try my best to do everything. Sometimes I may cancel my practice, but I still gonna do my schoolwork and do family stuff. But it works in sometimes.
Okay. So it was important for you to make sure to hit those academics first, and family. Well, family, then academics, and then the sports. But you were able to balance all those things out.
Yeah.
Now, can you tell me what impact sports has had in your life?
Basically, since I was young, cause I started playing soccer since I was 5, like in the camp where I come from. So I cannot say in the camp where I come from, sport is not like something we play for benefit or anything. Like we just play for fun. But when I came here, was something I really want to play, cause as a dream, I have a dream like maybe somewhere, some days I may play in professional level. Yeah.
And I hear you had the most goals this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically it was not kind of my best season, but was one of my best season, because it's my first season as a senior player to score 15 goals, and also I was not playing all the game strike, I was playing also defense, but I was so proud of myself to score 15 goals as a defender.
Oh, that's amazing. So you were able to balance that out even on the playing field.
Yeah.
When you were on offense, you were able to put the goals, and when you were on defense, you were able to stop the goals from coming in.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what are your future plans?
I'm going to college, and I was still gonna go play soccer.
Okay. Good. And the last question is, given this particular honor, who would you like to thank?
Basically, I'm not gonna thank myself. I'm gonna thank all the staff, because without them, they've been there all the time when we play games. They come to support us, and sometimes I would also thank my little brothers. Most of my games they was there. So.
Okay. Anything else you would like to share?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. Well, again, congratulations. I wish you nothing but the best of luck. And as you go on to college, make sure to come back.
Yeah.
And become a leader and a mentor in this community. All right. To empower and kind of motivate. You said your brothers going to your games, so keeping them motivated, but also some other young ones within the community as well.
Yeah, we all play soccer. That's why she knows I always call my little brother. They're my soccer team.
Oh, okay, soccer team. Gotcha.
That's his whole soccer team.
All right. Well, listen, congratulations again, and I wish nothing but the best.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll take a couple pictures. On behalf of the Rochester City School District, we want to congratulate you on this magnificent honor, and wish you nothing but the best. I have a few questions for you. Given that you've now balanced both academics and athletics, can you share a little bit of how you were able to balance those two responsibilities?
Well, basically, in school, I would just try to get all my work done, like in class, so that I can have more time after school to focus on sports. and then I would work on the weekends, and then weekdays was for school and work.
Now, what would you say, what has sports had, what kind of impact has sports had in your life?
It's helped me make a lot of new friends and open up. Used to be a little shy, but it helped me like be more open to meeting new people and working as a team.
Okay. What are your future plans?
I plan to attend Howard University in the fall.
Okay.
Major in biology.
Oh, amazing. That's beautiful. Now, given all these accomplishments, who would you like to thank?
I thank my mom and my dad. You know, they always come to the games, support me, and my grandma too. You know, always pushing me and making sure I do good, and my coaches too for believing in me.
Okay. So again, on behalf of the Rochester City School District, we want to congratulate you, wish you nothing but the best. And as you go on to Howard, come back and, you know, become a leader and mentor here in this community so that other young men can see that they can also accomplish these particular dreams. Thank you so much. All right, so on behalf of Amani, on behalf of the Rochester City School District, we want to congratulate you on this great honor. You know, being one of 22 scholar athletes within the, you know, all of Rochester, New York as a whole. I'm going to ask you a few questions. Okay. First question is, given this overall accomplishment, what can you share with us in reference to having to balance both academics and athletics? How have you done that?
Oh, well, it's I come to school just ready to work, and then having a supportive group of teachers always willing to support me and help me do whatever I need, whether it's staying after school or coming up for lunch. Any way that I need extra help, I try to get it just so I can get my grade up.
Great, great. Now, what would you say, what kind of impact has sports had on your life?
Always had a big impact on my life. Since I was little, I've always been playing sports, so it's been keeping me fit and active, and it's also fun and very fun, so I just love sports.
Okay. What are your future plans?
My future plans are to be a fashion designer. I'm actually going to college at the Academy of Art University in San Francisco, California, to study fashion design.
Awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And one last question. Who would you like to thank in reference to getting you to where you are today?
My parents, my brothers, my teachers, everybody who's helped me grow up and taught me anything. I just thank them so much.
Well, Amani, again, I mean, we want to congratulate you on behalf of the Rochester City School District. We wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
As you move forward, and make sure as you travel into college to come back and share your story and empower and kind of educate and mentor our youth that are coming up following your footsteps.
Thank you.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
So, Tori, on behalf of the Rochester City School District, we want to congratulate you on your Scholar Athlete Award. Yes, it's an amazing accomplishment.
Yes.
And I know you've got bigger and better things going on, right? As you transition into the summer and then to school next year?
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you a couple questions. The first question is, given that you're a Scholar Athlete, can you share with us how you went about balancing both your academic and your athletic responsibilities?
Honestly, I feel like with athletics, I feel like it made me do better in school. It kept me like active. I feel like it was a huge part because it was like, okay, I get out of practice, I would have left to do my work. I don't know, that was my mindset, honestly. Like, I don't know about other people, but that's how it was for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you were able to just know that you had to focus and balance those two things, and finishing practice or competing, it forced you to get home, get your studies done, and then get ready for the next day.
Yes.
What would you say? What kind of impact has sports had in your life?
In my life, it was something I can go to. It was like if something, like, for example, I had like school and I also had work and stuff. So like for me, it was like, okay, because I like volleyball a lot, it was something for me to relax stuff, enjoy, and have fun for it. I didn't really I did take it serious, but I didn't take it as like something very serious. It was something to enjoy.
So Tori, you're saying that you balanced not only academics, sports, and you had a job as well? Oh wow, that's amazing. Now, what would you say, what are your future plans?
My future plans? Well, I must end up staying here, but I do plan on going to NTC in the fall. I'm trying to study psychology. That's one thing I'm into, so that's what I'm planning on doing.
Okay, good. And I have one last question. Given this major accomplishment, who would you like to thank for helping you and supporting you through this journey?
Honestly, I would like to thank my team, my coach, and people who came to our games and stuff. Like I already felt good that I was a captain and stuff. It was something I really felt I had deserved because a lot of people voted for me. It was something I really liked it and stuff. So I want to thank them and stuff for encouraging me and always giving me compliments about my positivity. So yeah, that's about it.
Well, great. Now, here on behalf of the Rochester City School District, we want to congratulate you on this great honor.
Thank you.
wish you nothing but the best. I was just talking to your mom, and I see that you've got some plans, and maybe going to Cali, or we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But a couple of questions I want to ask you. Given that you've just received this award of a scholar athlete, can you share a little bit about how you went about balancing both the academics and the athletics responsibilities?
It took me a long time to get used to the schedule with track and football and school, and putting it all putting it in a good schedule for me to work around everything. But then once I found a way to focus on my academics, it was everything just became more easier. Sports actually got easier once I started doing good, better in school. As I started to excel academically, my athletics started to excel. So it was a win-win for me. So I just felt like I don't want to ever start losing. So I just kept working harder, and everything just got better.
Well, that's a very important thing to share. I mean, given that we're going to share this with the community as a whole, our athletes need to understand that it may not come easy right from the start.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you're able to balance those two things out, many doors will open for you. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great thing. Now, can you share what kind of impact, what impact sport has had in your life?
It's really gave me that discipline that I haven't had as with a father. So I haven't my father haven't been around, but my coaches and everyone that play male role models in my life, it just helped me focus on bettering myself and how to become a better man and grow up from being a teenager and young-minded, and help me explore better and more, and just stay strong on things that will break a little boy down. So I just try to focus on being better for the community.
That's amazing. I mean, what you're sharing is just the key of what both athletics and academics can do.
Right.
I mean, it's prepared you as a young man in the responsibilities of balancing your academics. It's also prepared you as a young man in being, self-determined and persevering.
Right.
Just breaking all those particular barriers that you may have. What are your future plans?
I was gonna go. Well, I have an SAT on Saturday, and depending on that score, determines whether I go to Alabama or Cali. So if I get the score that I need for the school that I'm going to, I'll go straight to Alabama and start football and track down in Alabama, where I'll be focusing on, taking my career to the next level and studying physical therapy as a major. And I'm undecided as a minor, but most likely it'll be, probably criminal justice, because especially with the things that's going on now, I feel like I'll have a big impact on things like that, especially in the community, because I'm a big role model to the kids, and a lot of people look up to me because not everybody has the chance to do or the opportunity to do what I'm doing for the community. So when they see somebody doing something good, it kind of gives them hope. So I just want to be able to get back to my city. So that's why I'm gonna focus on probably taking that minor and criminal justice. And physical therapy is just because I love the sports and the body and stuff like that. Keep you well around, the athletic. And I just got to stay in the athletic part,
Well, that's one thing I did. I mean, sports was something that's driven me to where I am today.
Right.
Being an athletic director has kind of kept me grounded within the sports world as a whole, phys ed teacher and those other pieces.
Right.
So I get it. At 5'6", I wasn't able to continue that, but I played a little bit of college ball and stuff.
Right.
But listen, it seems as if this high school experience has definitely provided you a strong foundation in how you transition into adult world.
Right.
And a lot of the things that you learn through sports transition into leadership. What you're sharing in reference to, and also what you're seeing in society as a whole, it is extremely important for you as a young man who's kind of overcome some of those obstacles to be a leader and a mentor within this community, to help young men understand that, let's stop giving ourselves excuses on why we can't.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we can, and we just got to overcome those particular things and stay focused on what those dreams might be.
Right.
In closing, who would you like to thank for this success that you've kind of accomplished up until this point?
Starting, I'd like to thank my mom
because she showed me like never to give up. You know, she's the strongest person I know. She always like whenever there's nothing for the family, she always find a way to provide. So like she just showed me that nothing, there's no limit to nothing that you can do in life. Like just just stay focused and determined. She's in her second year of college right now because she had, you know, she had kids, so like it made her like a setback on her career and stuff like that. But she back in school. She just finished her second year, and she's doing really well. She's actually like off the charts in school right now. So like it's just a big impact on me. And then I want to thank my mentor because he always making sure I'm all right. Like he's there for me for everything. Like he, man, that man does a lot of great things for me. He go above and beyond out of his way to make sure that I'm all right. Like he feed me whenever I'm hungry. Make sure that like I'm on top of things in school. Make sure whatever I need for sports I have. Like it was one year, I think it was my sophomore year. After my freshman year, I kind of grew a lot, and I outgrew all my sports stuff, like all my cleats, all my shirts, everything. And then he just went out one day and came back with like 2 duffel bags full of like athletic stuff, cleats, shoes.
What's his name?
Athletic, Edward Murphy. That's a joke though.
So shout out to Edward.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. His name's Edward Murphy.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, shout out to Eddie. He always been there for me, and I want to you know thank like my friends because they play a big role in everything that I do. You know, they keep me out of the way because you know a lot of people, it's easy for everybody to get drugged down into like the nonsense that's going on around in the city. So I'm glad that my friends, you know, they keep my head on straight. They got their heads on straight, and we just make sure that everybody that's in our circle just do what we got to do so we can be able to get back to our city and that we can, you know, one day live the life that we dreamed about. So we just, you know, keep each other positive. You know, and I want to thank my best friend Tori, even though he's not here no more. He in Tennessee, but still want to thank him because he kept me, you know, out the way too. He's a very positive person. Yeah, I just want to thank everyone that's just positive in my life, you know, because it's a lot of negativity. It's easy to be negative. It's not hard. It's not easy to be positive, you know. It's easy to give up. It's not hard. It's not hard to give up. Like everyone just gives up, but like the hard part is just keep going. And if you can do that, you can overcome a lot of things in life. So I want to thank God because, you know, that man wakes me up every day healthy, you know. Make sure that even with this wild pandemic that's going around, make sure that I'm corona free. Like I'm safe, and I've been outside a lot, but I still don't have the corona. So I mean, gotta thank God because I'm still, you know, healthy, standing, training, working out, and providing for my family. Even though this pandemic has, you know, impacted a lot of people.
Adrian, on behalf of the Rochester City School District, we want to congratulate you on being one of 22 scholar athletes across the Rochester City School District, or the Rochester community as a whole. This is a great honor, you know, in reference to the fact that, you know, what you've done here is you've had the ability to balance both academics and athletics. As we see, you're the valedictorian of your school, so you've definitely mastered that overall piece. I have a couple questions for you. First question is, can you share with us how you went about balancing both your academic and your athletic responsibilities?
Yeah, first I like to make a point that school always came first. There was no question about that. And as far as sports was concerned, I always kept an open mind as to growth and like development, and I wouldn't let anything keep me down, and progress was always something that was important to me.
Now, what would you say, what kind of impact has sports had in your life?
It really kept me grounded when I would go through hard times. Practice would always, you know, give me opportunity to just work it all out, exhaust myself, and I feel good at the end of the day.
It's amazing. A lot of our athletes have been sharing the same thing, that in most cases it was an outlet, way to balance and kind of relieve a lot of that stress that you may have, and just kind of keeping up with the schoolwork. What are your future plans?
I'll be attending Kent State University in the fall, and I'll be majoring in business management and entrepreneurship.
You looking on coming back with that major and doing some things here in the Rochester community? Okay. And the last question is, who would you like to thank?
My mom, my grandma, my coaches, Coach Graham and Coach Tyndall, even though he's not here anymore.
Okay. So again, on behalf of the district, we want to congratulate you on this distinguished honor. The one thing that I've been sharing with all of our athletes is to make sure to come back and be leaders and mentors within this community, empower young men and young women that are, seeing you, not only as a valedictorian of your school. You've got to, I know you're doing this all virtually, where you've got to, speak to your classmates as you close out this particular year, but definitely come back and inspire and motivate, those that are coming behind you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to transition from the video to some of our commissioners. I'm going to start with our board president, Mr. Van White.
Good evening, everybody. I want to thank Dr. Myers, Dr. Cotto, all the principals, some that we saw on screen, some that we did not, the building staff, most importantly, the coaches, parents. I can't say that enough. Parents for supporting our athletes. Let us not forget the fans that were there. I was at quite a few games. I saw Carlos and others during some really inclement weather. The fans, they have the dedication to stand in there and support the scholars and their teams. And let us not forget the teammates who put many of these athletes in a position to get the recognition that they so justly deserve. Our students counted on these folks to have the victories in the classroom and outside the classroom, and they were there. Our athletes could count on these folks in their wins and their losses. So we really want to hold up the fans. And when I think of the word count, there's one athlete that has always stood out in my mind. That's Muhammad Ali. I have a 7-foot statue of Muhammad Ali in my office. I don't know if you can see it there, but he one time said, "Don't count the days, make the days count." And to our scholar athletes, I say, you have made every day count, on the court, on the field, on the track, and most importantly, in the classroom. We are proud of you for making every minute, every second, every hour count. God bless you and congratulations.
Thank you, President White. Thank you. Next up is Commissioner Adams, and I want to thank Commissioner Adams for bringing this to the table and giving us this opportunity. But you're up next. Thanks again.
And so I want to thank you, Dr. Cotto, for just making this happen. But I want to especially thank all these students, man, let me take my hat off for them, for performing at an upper level, under pressure, with all eyes on them. What role models you have been. And you mixed it up with a little bit of fun. You made learning fun. You can't ask for more. This is really a big deal. It signifies the beginning of your journey to be the best you in whatever it is that you pursue. Wear that smile that you have on your face right now all the time. You look good in it. Congratulations from me and all the school board members.
Thank you, Commissioner Adams. Next up, we have Commissioner Malloy.
Hi, Scholar Athletes. Hello, everyone. Congratulations. I'm going to try to make this very quick. I just wanted to say that your participation in team activities, it's going to impact you for the remainder of your life. It's going to open doors for you in the work world. And it's helped instill in you the idea of teamwork, discipline, perseverance, and participation on a sports team means people are counting on you. Not just during the big game at critical moments, but mostly during your training, just on the regular every day. Long ago, Commissioner Malloy ran cross country as a Division III athlete at the U of R. My first real life lesson came at 6:30 a.m. on a Saturday morning as my teammates barged into my dorm room and literally dragged my rear end out of bed. See, I was supposed to be down at the track at 6 a.m., so their warm-up consisted of running to my dorm and letting me know I had let them down. Suffice it to say that peer pressure was good for me. And although it kind of sucked at the time, I never missed an early morning training ever again. So you've already proven by sitting where you sit that you won't ever let your teammates down. And it's your determination and your grit that has gotten you here, along with your families, your positive adult role models, and perhaps your faith. So to all our student athletes, you are to be commended, to be applauded, not only for your focus, but also your commitment. So warmest congratulations and sincere wishes for your continued success in all you pursue. Thank you.
I'm going to turn it over to Kayla, who's going to read Commissioner LeBron's statement.
Hi, Scholar Athletes. I'm going to provide you with a statement from Commissioner LeBron, who was not able to make it to the recognition, but she is very proud of you. She says, to all student athletes receiving recognition today, thank you for your dedication to your education, your team, and your schools. I'm sorry to have missed this recognition, but I want to congratulate you on all your accomplishments and wish you the very best in the next stages of your life. I know there's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now, and I want to leave you with a quote from Frederick Douglass. It is not light we need, but fire, not the gentle shower, but thunder. We need the storm, the whirlwind, and the earthquake. So go out there, continue to be a storm and a force, and always remember that Black Lives Matter.
Thank you, Kayla. Next up, we have our superintendent from East High School, Dr. Sean Nelms.
Hello, good evening, everyone, and congratulations, young scholar athletes. I don't think you realize how big of an accomplishment you have fulfilled, so much so that you had Ricardo Adams, Commissioner Adams, take off his hat. I haven't seen him without his hat on every day in my life. So this is a momentous occasion. I just want to especially thank the two East Scholars athletes. Our seniors have earned over $500,000, $500,000 in scholars and athletic scholarships this year. And we started this project with people saying, you know, you have to rebuild the athletic programs at East. It used to be a powerhouse, and we could not have done that without the incredible work of our athletic director, Eric Robinson. And so to all the athletic directors, you have the power to create phenomenal programs for all of our children. You continue to do so. And for our student athletes, go on, do great, and give back to your communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nelms. And to close, our superintendent, Dr. Leslie Myers-Smalls.
Good evening, everyone. It certainly is an honor, and it's so exciting to see all of our athletes be recognized. I too, like Commissioner Malloy and many others, was a student athlete. I played volleyball, I played tennis, I played softball and basketball. And I have to tell you, it certainly was on the court and on the field where much of my leadership skills developed. And so I just want to leave our scholar athletes with the following quote by Michael Powers. And it says, high school sports, where lessons of life are still being learned and where athletes still compete for the love of the game and their teammates. Congratulations to all of our scholar athletes.
Thank you, Dr. Myers-Smalls. And in closing, I mean, if we could, I know this is all virtual, but unmute and just give these young men and young ladies a round of applause. That would be great. And again, I want to thank you all for giving us the opportunity to share the power of what we have within our district and the talents that we have, both academically and athletically. And this is just a small piece of what we've got, because we've got many others within the district that are excelling in many different ways. So thank you all again.
Dr. Cotto?
Yes.
Well, Commissioner Powell here.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't call my name, but I just want to say to our scholar athletes a hearty thank you. It's been a privilege to hear their life strategies in their own words.
Thank you, Commissioner Powell. I'm sorry about that.
Good evening, everyone. Today is, Today is June the 4th, 2020. Welcome to the meeting of the Board of Education. I think everybody's sort of off their focus. This nation has been riveted by the things that have happened across this nation. And though we spend a considerable amount of our time as board members dedicated to serving this community in these meetings, we realize that that time is meaningless when it compares to the experiences of a fellow American by the name of George Floyd. Accordingly, in recognition of that tragic event, and in hopes that that tragic 8 minutes and 46 seconds will bring a lifetime of change in this country, we, the members of the Board of Education, the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Myers, and the independent monitor, and we believe we are joined by the rest of the district employees, the thousands of district employees. We would like to dedicate the first portion of our meeting, that is 8 minutes and 46 seconds, to the loss and to the potential for growth in this country. We are going to do so by pressing our stop video screens for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. And we would encourage you to join us in that period of silent meditation, reflecting upon Mr. Floyd's life and America's future. Good evening. Just wait until all of our colleagues come back online. I see Vice President Elliott. For those of you that was wondering what was going on, we, as a Board of Education and the Rochester City School District, have decided to dedicate 8 minutes and 46 seconds in reverence to the tragic loss of life experienced in Minnesota and by the Floyd family. I'm waiting, Madam Clerk. I'm not sure what's going on with my screen, but the only face I see is Vice President Elliott.
Everyone
Not that that's
on.
a problem. There we go.
President.
All right.
Right.
Is everybody else back online?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Again, for those who missed the first part of our meeting, the Board of Education, Dr. Myers, Dr. Jowl, all agreed that it was appropriate to dedicate 8 minutes and 46 seconds, the beginning of our meeting, to the tragic loss of life experienced by the state of Minnesota, the United States of America, and more importantly, the Floyd family. We realize that 48 minutes and 46 seconds won't change their fate or their immediate future, but perhaps it will allow people the time that they need to contemplate what they can do to make our situation as a city, as a country, better. We also, at the beginning of every meeting, not only have a moment of reverence, which is particularly appropriate here, but we also recognize our flag, our United States flag. And we do that by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. And as I say, I encourage those who feel comfortable in doing so to stand and recite the pledge with me. If you choose not to, in America, that's okay as well. In fact, if you want to take a knee, that's appropriate too. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, as I indicated, today is June the 4th, 2020. The next order of business is to recognize the minutes that we took in a previous meeting so that they are entered into our official record. I need a motion, therefore, to pass the minutes that were taken for the May 14th, 2020 meeting. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Malloy. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Adams. All those in favor of approving the minutes as drafted for the May 14th, 2020 meeting signify so by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
And I would remind my colleagues, make sure that when you vote, you are visual so that our clerk can record your vote. We have no
President
speakers.
White?
Yes, ma'am.
I do not see Commissioner Powell on the screen.
Commissioner Powell, could you make sure that you're on the screen so that you can vote on those minutes?
I've been disabled. I get a message, the host has asked you to start your video. Oh, I'm sorry. Looks like I've been re-enabled. Hold on. I'm not sure.
Commissioner Powell, I can hear your voice. If I could just get a vote for the minutes from you so that I can record it.
Okay. I'm not sure.
There you go.
The answer is yes.
There we go. This is the new normal, folks, and sometimes it takes a minute to get things normalized. Thank you, Commissioner Powell. Thank you, Madam Clerk. As I indicated, we have no speakers, so we'll move on from that portion of the agenda. I would note that this district does encourage people to communicate and share their thoughts. Anyone who wants to speak up can do so as part of this new normal, that is our Zoom meetings. You should send an email to the Board of Education at rcsdk12.org by noon of the day that you wish to speak. You should provide the following information: your name, your affiliation, your parent, student, etc., and your telephone number. Of course, we welcome just written comments, and those also should be sent to Board of Education at rcsdk12.org. k12.org. We look forward to those comments. There are no advisory council reports this evening, so we'll move on. Is our student rep here today? Tatiana, is she here?
No, Mr. President, she is not.
Okay. All right. So we have no student report, no bilingual, and no PAC report. There are no board reports either, but we do have a report from our EPO. For those of you who don't recall, EPO stands for Educational Partnership Organization. That is the University of Rochester. They serve as the superintendent of one of our larger high schools, that is East High School. And the superintendent for the EPO at East is Dr. Sean Nelms. Dr. Nelms, you're going to give us a report?
Good evening, commissioners and community. Yes, I will give a very brief report. I know we had a meeting before this with student athletes, which was an incredible ceremony. And I want to thank Dr. Cotto and all the athletic directors and coaches who put in tons of time off season and during the season to prepare our student athletes for successful seasons and the ability to play in college if they so choose. So congratulations to all those student athletes. Thank you, Dr. Cotto. And I kept tonight's comments relatively short because I knew we had a 2-hour gathering before. So tonight's will be an overview of a few things that's happening. I know that we're amidst COVID, but there are many different lessons to be learned. And we are trying to engage our families and our students more actively to not just respond to what's happening in the world today, but to also prepare for the opening of school in September. What we want to avoid is having students and teachers dealing with their emotions and processing this for the first time in September. And so our family groups have continued to meet by Zoom, and we have created some sit-in starters and sit-in props to have students start to process through what they're seeing, their emotions, and what they can do next, more importantly, as young advocates. We've also realized that our staff members are dealing with a host of traumatic or situations. They left abruptly with COVID. They have then were hit with the death of George Floyd and what that meant to them as individuals and to our community. And we are starting the process of informing staff members who will be laid off for the upcoming school year. So as you can imagine, the staff are going through quite a bit this last few weeks, and we want to make sure we give them safe space. I'm just reminding our East staff to check your emails and to check for those coordinated times with our social workers, just to be able to check in, again, to process through a lot of mixed emotions so that we are prepared in our best selves this summer and entering September. Next slide, please. I want to make sure that our staff and our community members that we are looking at seeing what's happening these last few weeks as an opportunity to enhance our curriculum. So understanding the corona epidemic, understanding the recent death of George Floyd and the heightened awareness of police brutality and social injustice, we are spending this summer updating and redefining our curriculum to reflect the civic-minded lessons. And we're excited to start to curate some of those materials now, some of the news clippings, some of the commentary, to develop inquiry-based lessons for students to be able to have a better understanding of what's happening in their world and how they can and should respond to it as future leaders. We also work with the University of Rochester to create content that will be shared with, and this is in conjunction with Dr. Meyer and all area superintendents, an opportunity to look at how can students across our county, regardless of zip code, regardless of school district, how might they share in a common understanding and a common curricular framework? This is the beginning stages of this. Myself and Dr. Myers have been very loud voices in this initiative, and we continue to push the importance of having one Monroe County, although our students may attend separate schools, but our rich history, beginning far beyond any of our birth. If we focus and looked at the riots of '64 to now, what has changed, what caused it then, and what must we do to prevent something happening 30 years, 40 years from today? And so we're going to continue to work with the University of Rochester and the Center of Urban Education Success and various departments across the university, including the libraries, to identify materials and content and working with all individuals across the county to make sense of it and to hopefully have some shared experiences. These are preliminary conversations, but I would expect them to be more formalized in the upcoming weeks. Students today, you would have received, and parents, you would have received through your Google Classroom or your Google accounts, an invitation to have a town hall next Wednesday. This will be an open forum for students and families to talk and to, again, make sense what's happening with the racial injustice and just to be listening. I think at this time, we need to listen to our students and not guide them and tell them how they should be thinking. So I'm looking forward to first seeing our students. I've been seeing them in quite some time, but also being able to have a dialogue and discussion around issues that matters to them. Again, it's all in the spirit of healing, but also in the spirit of preparing for September so that we can address and align our curriculum to meet their identified needs. So again, this will be next week. We'll make sure that the board has the Zoom link, and we're going to see what comes of it, and hopefully it will influence how we move forward. And I want to thank Dr. Meyer and her team, Meyer Small and her team. When you know someone for a long time, after they get married, I still call her by her original name. But Leslie and her team for the reopening task force, for having us be a part of that. What the board should understand is that since Leslie, her first day here in the district, we have been on a number of Zoom meetings together and countless conversations and we're coordinating our efforts. And I think you all will know, those who've been on board for a long time, that has not been the norm. And I think that we are better when we work together. We are smarter when we work together and are aligned. And I think the entire student body and every teacher and administrator will benefit from our joint partnership. And so I want to publicly thank Leslie from day one, having us join her team meeting and to invite us to those and to not just have us sit in the back of the room, but to be partners in the discussions and advocates for change. So thank you, Leslie, Dr. Meyer Small, and to your team for being welcoming. And I hope this establishes a new norm moving forward. And I appreciate that. So the school reopening, we are directly aligned with the district. We don't plan on doing anything different. And we're going to continue to partner to ensure that every kid has an equitable experience once we enter school in September. And we are still looking through the graduation plans. Actually, about 2 hours ago, we got further guidance from the governor around what's allowed for graduation and what's not. So this slide will be updated, if you will, tomorrow when I meet with my team to start to solidify plans for graduation. The date has been established. It's June 25th at 6 p.m. At East. The details of that will be formalized. We actually started doing that about 2 hours ago. And I expect to have a shell of a plan tomorrow. We were waiting to see what the governor was going to decide with social distancing. We did have 3 options planned, and I believe all 3 fit the model. So we'll have more clarity for the board at that point. Yeah, I believe, next slide. And this was a great day spent. We divided up, the staff divided up into teams and traveled all over Rochester to deliver signs for our graduating seniors. This is just some of the signs that, some of the images of the day. And one of the things that was most striking in leaving East, it took me probably an hour and a half with our team of car caravans to deliver about 25 signs. And we had 4 teams doing this. So the neighborhood school perspective is so interesting because our kids live all over the city. But it was really interesting to see how many lived on streets by themselves, how many had 4 or 5 kids in their neighborhood. And it just made me think about if we're not going to have neighborhood schools for quite some time, how do we keep our kids connected when they're living in different zones so they can be each other's resources? And then more importantly, how do we connect kids from all schools who might live in the same neighborhood but attend different schools, so they are speaking about RCSD with one voice, and I think that's something that we have to consider. But meeting the parents and seeing the hugs and the cries, and some of these kids, they were the first ones to graduate their families. Others, they might be the first one going to college, and for many, they continue the legacy of where their parents attended college and university. So the spectrum was everywhere, but what was common was that there were a lot of cries, a lot of tears, a lot of hugs. I'll say I was guilty of giving a couple of hugs out. I did not practice proper social distancing with a few. But when you pour your heart and soul into kids for 4 or 5 years and you see them celebrating, it's kind of hard to not embrace. And so I'm guilty as charged, but I don't regret it. So yeah, and I think this is an important moment. It was also cool to drive around and see all the other schools and their signs, and to see how many kids we have graduating, a story that we definitely have to continue to tell. We have many, many kids going on to do amazing things, and East is just a part of that family. And I've already thanked her formally, but formally saying, welcome aboard, Dr. Leslie Myers Small. I often refer to her as Les, so it's not out of disrespect, it's out of love. But she is going to do incredible things, and I can already see the structural changes just from a few meetings I've already sat in. And again, I thank you, and I appreciate you welcoming and supporting and including East as part of your family. And that concludes my presentation.
Are there any questions for Dr. Nelms?
Yes, sir, Mr. President.
Yes, ma'am.
Just one, Dr. Nelms. What are some of the colleges that our students are going to?
Yeah, so we have everything from MCC and Cayuga. We have quite a few going historically Black colleges. University of Rochester. We pushed hard to make sure that if we're going to be in this partnership, that kids get a chance to go to the only R1 institution in the community. St. John Fisher has been extremely welcoming of East scholars. The ones who have attended are doing well academically. I'm on a board for Fredonia State, and so we're pushing kids to get into that college as well. It's also my alma mater. And so we continue to support a vast array of schools from all over the board. And that's been interesting too. When we first started at East, the vast majority of kids went to community college, and a very few went to four-year institutions. And what we created this year is we had this College 30 that Lorna Washington helped lead. And we took the highest performing students by GPA only, and we put them in a family group. And their entire senior year was application writing. Every kid got this, but these were 30 kids. I said our goal was to make sure that 100% of these kids get a full scholarship if they want to go to college. And of course, we're going to expand it out. But I wanted to kind of understand what was holding kids back from getting into these four-year colleges when they were our top performers. And as you can imagine, everything was just from knowledge of how do you navigate the college system. Some of it was finances, so we work with financial aid officers. But a lot of it was just a lack of knowledge about how to navigate the school culture. And so from that, we're learning and sharing and going to make sure that other kids have access. On a personal note, my daughter's a junior in high school, and she's going off to college in a year and a half. And I'm struggling with how to navigate the system. We spent all day, I think yesterday or something, going through and just sorting which type of schools to apply to. And it is remarkably challenging. And I have resources to do it. So we're trying to learn lessons from that and share it.
Just a couple other questions. So in light of that, what's the lessons learned? Should we be starting that process with our students earlier, say maybe even the 10th grade?
I would say that's exactly what we're doing next year. We are starting with 10th grade and making sure that our students truly understand and our parents understand, and we understand, more importantly, how to help kids navigate through that process. So we've always had, I would say, college going light culture in terms of when they get to junior year, we start, and that's too late. I mean, if my daughter now, who's a junior going into a senior year, if she wants early acceptance into college, she's got to make that decision by October, November at the latest. We can't wait until, December to have kids applying. We were doing that already, but I think the level of it for the last 3 years, we've been doing that. But the level of attention that we spent this year was much greater based on the lessons we've learned over the last 2 or 3 years.
That brings up another question. In terms of college exams, do you think we should start that process, even if it's just sample exams, like in the 9th grade, so that our students are prepared?
Absolutely.
Is that something that you think we should be doing?
I would say that 10th grade at the latest. I would say, I remember when Dr. Myers and I used to do consulting work way back in the day. We used to work with AP College Board, and we were focusing then on grades 7 and 8 and getting kids into rigorous courses. We weren't doing the college application process at that point, but it was getting kids into AP or advanced classes in their 7th and 8th grade. It wasn't a matter if they passed them or failed them. It was being exposed to higher and more rigorous content. And that, that's part of the EPO. That is the EPO model. But the college going process, there was a huge disconnect when we got there. As one counselor said to this, one counselor said this, and she wasn't being dismissive. She said, for a long time, we didn't have a lot of kids going to college So we didn't focus so much on the college culture. And that was her honesty. And they focused on other means and employment. And it was sad but true. And I would say that has completely flipped these past few years, that we have so many kids going to college, four-year colleges, not just community colleges, that the counselors are now, as a natural form of professional development, understanding where we have to get kids focused. And it starts in middle school, but I think our huge emphasis is 10th grade, because we really can dedicate the time and resources in 10th grade to do it. 9th grade, we give all of our kids double English and double math, and so just the time in the day is more difficult. But 10th grade is where we decided we're going to double down and put that emphasis there in terms of the application process and sorting schools and understanding the difference between a private and a public school. I heard one girl on the, one young lady on the athletic video today was trying to remember the word, NCAA or NCAA, right? So even if you're an athlete, NCAA should roll off the tip of your tongue, as should the requirements for NCAA. They have to understand that the lower your GPA, the higher the SAT score you have to get. They got to know that as in freshman year. So you have to get good GPA scores. You can, if you don't do as well on the testing, you still get in. So even those type of things I was hearing in the video, one young man said, depending on my SAT scores, I can go to Alabama or I can go to California. Imagine if that kid had that clarity the freshman year, that option wouldn't be based on grades, it would be based on his school choice. And so, I was listening to that in the video and listening to these young athletes, and these are kids with the highest GPAs, and they have a work ethic, proving that they're an athlete. And all those kids should be in schools for free. If you're a minority student and you have good GPA and you're an athlete, there are schools all over this country that would take you for free. So, yeah, I think that's a deeper conversation we have to have, and we have to continue having as we create a college-going culture.
So just one last question, Dr. Nims, with regard to your scholarship dollars. Yep. How much scholarship dollars did East have for this year?
Over $500,000, $500,000. Yep.
Thank you.
For our student athletes only.
Oh, what about the other students?
We are still calculating that. We're going to try to start on graduation. Yep. Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Dr. Nelms? Dr. Nelms, one question and one comment. I'll begin with the comment. We are blessed as a board and as a district to have two very remarkable superintendents who value each other, know each other, and understand the importance and appreciate the importance of collaboration, and that includes sharing best practices. I think we have an opportunity here that perhaps we have not had before, in terms of the synergies and the possibilities of East and the general district working together and appreciating and copying the best practices that each organization has. So I think you're absolutely right about Dr. Myers, but I would say the same thing about you. You've heard other folks say this before, you are an exceptional leader of our district. And what I'm really excited about is that you two really respect and appreciate each other. And there's limitless possibilities when you have that kind of relationship. So I'm really looking forward to the next year or two, just to see how things begin to evolve. So thank you for that. The question, which Sean and Leslie, you will not be surprised by, and I don't need an answer tonight, but I can tell you it's going to be. So at some point, perhaps tomorrow or Friday, you'll have some conversation with me, and of course I would share that immediately with the board about where we're at. My philosophy is, Dr. Jallo, no surprises. We should not be stepping on that graduation stage. This time virtual graduation stage, not knowing where each and every one of our students are at, and knowing whether they will graduate and when they will graduate, June or August. And our leadership team over the last few years has been very good at that. That includes Dr. Nelm. So Dr. Jallo, you've heard me say in the past, I've started what gets measured gets done. And the success of a district, if you're trying to figure out the last minute how many of your kids are going to graduate, and we were there about 10, 11 years ago, trying to figure out the last minute how many of your kids are going to graduate, and you're scurrying to figure out, get kids credit, that's not going to work. But we, I think as a district, have done a better job, certainly not perfect, at monitoring and measuring where our kids are at in their graduation journey. And Dr. Myers is new, of course, but Dr. Nelms will tell you that we regularly check in. And Dr. Myers, if she speaks to Ray, he will tell her that we regularly check in on those. And that accounts for some of the goodness that has happened in this district. And we want to continue that effort. And again, let me emphasize, I think with Dr. Nelms and Dr. Myers, there's just a tremendous opportunity here. Dr. Jallo, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say something because I'm sitting here wondering, just how many students are graduating per school? How many are going on to 2-year colleges? How many are going to 4-year colleges? How many of them have the biliteracy certification? How many of them are going into industry because they were in CTE programs? And then the question about scholarship, $500,000 is a lot of money for the athletes, and that's wonderful. But it would be nice to see data that showed, your graduates overall have received X amount of college acceptances and or amounts of money associated with those acceptances. Yeah. So I'm usually going to ask questions around, like where's the data to quantify exactly what it is we're talking about.
I think the other part that
ESSA asks us to do the same thing, right? ESSA guidelines, those are pretty much the same guidelines that ESSA requirements expect of us.
Yeah, we typically report on those things every year once the data comes in, typically before August. But one of the things that we're struggling with, and perhaps your resources can help us, Dr. Jallo, is once it's hard to track kids once they persist in college to their second and third year unless it's self-reported, and that's not reliable data. So I know that the state and its federal government have been trying to increase that with the clearinghouse data. But I think from an economic standpoint, if we're able to see how many kids leave and in 4 or 5 years come back to the community with a degree, and then to what extent are they being employed in the majors that they have completed, I think that's data that, the city, the county should also be tracking. And I think that's extremely important. That we haven't done that. I think that's an ideal state, but it doesn't mean we have to wait.
Yeah, I would also caution that that's information that then funnels back to the schools to help them make decisions about programming. If you have children, no disrespect to cosmetology, but if you have everybody, a large percentage of students graduating in cosmetology, but there are no jobs for them, or they're not making enough money to sustain their families, but there's a need in cybersecurity, then we might know that we need to change our high school programming to have more cybersecurity course opportunities for students so that when they graduate, they can go into a career and or college. So that information can funnel back and help us as well, not just necessarily for only reporting, but yeah, that would be great.
Any other questions for Dr. Nelms? All right. The next item on the agenda is consideration of resolutions. Sometimes I try to make sure that we, if folks need to go into executive session on any of the resolutions, that you let me know in advance so that we can just call them out and call them later. Does anybody have a need to discuss any of these particular resolutions in executive session? Okay.
Not in executive session, Mr. President.
Uh-huh.
But I did go through them, but I don't have them on my screen. There were no professional development resolutions, were there?
No.
Okay. All right. So I'm good.
Yeah, right. Commissioner Elliott, we did not have those resolutions for this board meeting. We're trying to make sure that the data is accurate, the numbers are accurate for the following board meetings. You'll see resolutions for the summer at that.
You all know philosophically I don't support professional development, so I just wanted to make sure that because my intent was to vote yes for all the resolutions, but I didn't recall, because I don't have it before me, if there was a resolution on professional development.
Okay, so let's go out and call these resolutions. I need a motion to discuss resolution 959. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Been moved by Vice President Elliott. Is there a second? I think I heard Commissioner Malloy. So let's talk about resolution 959. Is there any questions or comments regarding these appointment of part-time positions in the teacher tenure area at the East EPO? Doesn't seem that there are any questions or comments. I'm operating, unfortunately, off my cell phone, So I'm trying to look at the participant screen. I don't see anybody raising their hands. Since there's no comments or no hands raised, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of Resolution 959 signify so by saying aye, and make sure your video is on. Aye.
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 Is there any opposition? There being no opposition, Madam Clerk, I believe that resolution passes. Next, I need a motion to discuss Resolution 961, which relates to the appointment of administrative tenure area and positions. Is there a motion? I see Commissioner Malloy has moved it. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Adams. Any questions or comments regarding Resolution 961? Looking at my participant screen, I don't see anything. So I don't hear any comments. So let's call for a vote. I need all those in favor of Resolution 961 signify so by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
I assume, Madam Clerk, you recorded the votes, and that 961 passes. Next, I need a motion to discuss Resolution 966, which relates to resignations from the EPO. Is there a motion?
Motion.
I hear Commissioner Malloy has moved 966. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Vice President Elliott. Any questions or comments regarding Resolution 966? Doesn't seem that there are any questions or comments. All those in favor of Resolution 966 signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Seems that the ayes have it. Next, we have some resolutions that relate to the district, and those are resolutions 971 through 973. They're consecutive, so I'm going to ask for a motion to advance for discussion resolutions 971 through 973. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Vice President Elliott. I think I heard Commissioner Malloy second that. Is that right? I guess so. Any questions or comments regarding resolution 971 through 973?
I have a question about 970.
Yes, ma'am.
This is just concerning the end of school year date, and it was just brought to my attention this might affect our RAP employees, who are already some of our most vulnerable employees in the district. And so I just want some clarification on their end date. For some reason, there's talk that they have been shorted a week's pay because of the April break. So if someone could just provide some clarification, it was brought to my attention by someone, and just wanted to ask that on record.
Dr. Myers, is there someone that can respond to that?
Steve can.
Is Steve online?
I am. Mr. President, if I can suggest it, in as much as this involves a matter of some significant contract interpretation, that we undertake this in executive session.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds good. So,
Thank you,
Commissioner
Carl.
Malloy, Commissioner Malloy, I assume that's a motion that will eventually result in a motion to go into executive session on matters that relate to contractual or legal advice. And so what we'll do, unless there's some objections, we won't, we'll table the vote. We'll put off the vote. I don't even know if I need to table, motion to table. We'll put off that vote until we come out of executive session. So Commissioner Malloy, I'll expect you to be one of the first people to move for executive session when I get to that. So for now, we're not going to continue to discuss resolution 971 to 973. We will discuss them and vote on them when we come out of executive session, which was planned any event. There is no unfinished business, and there is no new business. And so that leaves us with the motion, Commissioner Malloy, to go into executive session for the purposes of obtaining counsel from our general counsel's office, not only in the resolutions 971 to 973, but there are a number of other issues that I think can be fairly described as issues requiring the advice of counsel. I'm looking at a list here. And so, Commissioner, although technically we don't need a motion to have private conversations with our attorneys, but Commissioner Malloy, why don't you go ahead and make the motion anyways?
Yeah, motion to move to executive session.
There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Adams. Any questions or comments regarding that pending motion? There being no questions or comments, all those in favor of going into executive session for the purposes of obtaining advice from legal counsel signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Seems that ayes have it. Ladies and gentlemen, we will come out of executive session and we will have to vote because we have resolutions 971 to 973. But we're gonna disappear for a few minutes. I have no idea how long it's going to take. Sometimes these conversations can take some time. We will come out of executive session and we will no doubt vote on resolutions 971 to 973. If you choose not to stick around, have a blessed and safe evening. Tom, let me know when we're set. Actually, folks, I'm going to take a minute and I'll be right back. Let's take a bathroom break. All right. It is once again June the 4th, 2020. The time is, I have to put on my glasses, folks. It's 7:51 p.m. We have had some time to deliberate and discuss a number of things which by law we are allowed to discuss privately with our attorney. But there are some things, folks, that we have to vote on publicly, and that is the series of resolutions 971 through 973. I believe there already was a motion to discuss those matters, and then we—
That is correct.
That's right. And then we had to go into executive session. So is there any further questions or comments regarding resolutions 971 through 973? Let me check my participant screen. No, I think we're good. There being no further questions or comments, all those in favor of resolutions 971 through 973 signify so by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Seems that the ayes have it. Next thing I'll need is a motion to adjourn. Is there a motion? I saw Commissioner Adams moving right to that button, so I'm going to take that motion from Commissioner Adams. Commissioner Malloy is seconded. All those in favor of adjourning and going home and getting a good dinner signify by saying aye. Aye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Have a nice night. Be
Take
safe.
care.
Good night.